Good damn evening, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Get your green gear 25% off, promo code Jericho1. All caps, the number 1. So earlier today I talked about the dumb shit that spilled out of Mike Obama's face, about her kids having to be afraid by just doing the, as she said, and I quote, the innocent act of getting a license. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, I talked about how ridiculous that is, being that she had her 2 kids. Just in case you guys didn't know, they're the 2 children of the former president of the United States, so they're not exactly riding alone. Anyway, something else that I didn't touch on because I really focused on that part of the stupidity, but something else was the continuation of people like her who spout this, oh, poor black people, they're just so scared and they just can't shake slavery and Jim Crow, even though the majority of us weren't even around for that shit. And she perpetuates the Fabergé eggs of ethnicities, which is how we are viewed. Shh, no, don't say that. Shh, all the other races, yeah, say what you want, fuck them. But black people, no, shh, quiet. Talk, when you're around them, talk like they are a cake in the oven. Shh. That bullshit, portraying us as weak and somehow not being able to withstand the slings and arrows that everybody else has to deal with. We are not weak. We are not all the same. All of these clowns pushing this bullshit, they don't represent all of us. Just like it's equally ridiculous for some white person or some Mexican person or some Asian person, whatever you are out there watching this, saying that they represent you and you think and believe just like they do. That is dumb. But somehow, like in other cases in this country, the smallest group have the loudest bullhorn and the tallest soapbox. So here we are. But one of the things she said that bothers me is that the other citizens of the country, who are the other citizens? I thought there were only one group of citizens. They're called citizens. But of course, they need to break us up into little tiny groups to perpetuate this difference that all races have. We all have these different experiences. We're all raised in the same country, in the same neighborhood, in the same schools, but somehow some of us got the short end of the stick, the bad part of the story, like nobody else did. Anyway, but she talks about how the other members of society need to listen to us and believe us. Believe what? Listen to us about what? I don't need an ear to listen to. I have one. It's called my wife. That's my shoulder to cry on. That's my ear to cry into. To complain to is my wife. If you don't have one of those, I'm sure you may have a husband, or you may have friends, or other family members you can speak to. I don't need, who the fucking listen to me about what? We could probably listen to each other. You know why? Because we're all going through the same shit. We're all going through it. We're all being taxed too much and represented too little and lied to too much. That goes across the board. You know how you know you're equal? Because we're all getting fucked with taxes. Do black people pay less because they're black? You really want to help out a group? Cut their taxes. They ain't gonna do that shit because it's not about helping. It's about dividing. It's about creating animosity so they have something to bitch about. Because when you give something to one and not everyone, that's what you create. But I'm so sick of this fucking narrative, and it's always coming from these black folks who are millionaires. How about instead of talking about these bullshit grievances that none of us have, tell me how you crack the code. Never mind. You don't need to tell me. The code is being cracked. 2 words, hard work. There's this guy on Instagram, young kid, probably early 20s. He goes up to people in supercars. I don't know what the criteria is for a supercar, but a lot of Mercedes and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all this shit, Rolls Royces, all that. He goes up to him and he said, what do you do? He says, what do you do for a living? And they tell him what they do for a living. And you know what most of them say? I worked hard. This is what I do, but I got here because I worked hard. And it's black folks, it's white folks, it's Arab folks, it's Asian folks, it's Americans, it's foreigners. They all speak the same language, hard work. You want to rise above, you want to be successful, hard work. Find something, work hard at it, success will find you. Success is a hound dog and you're a missing hiker, okay? You work hard, that hound dog will find you. It will seek you out. That's what you're going to hear in the distance. Get him, don't get him, boy. That's what you're going to hear because the hound dog of success is coming if you work hard. You can't stop it. People will gravitate towards you. They will see your work ethic and they will want it. They will either want it in their company or they will want to give you stuff so you can start your own. Money don't give a shit what you look like. If you work for it, it will come to you. Listen to me. Believe me. What? Stop acting like every black person is this downtrodden. If you would only just listen to me, like we're a bunch of fucking Eeyores. I can't get ahead in the world because of some shit that happened years ago. What was that? What was that? Oh shit, what was that? A foreigner? There they go. They just got here. What was that? Are these? Oh shit, these are hard workers just passing my sad ass up. Stop this bullshit. You're damaging people. You're making them remain victims. There's nothing to listen to. There's nothing to believe. Get out of my way. How did she get there? Did she go to Princeton? Didn't she marry a president? How did you get there? Aside from your NBA career. But even more so, how'd you get in the NBA? You worked hard, you practiced, you were hitting those threes late at night when the street light went out. You were D'ing people up in gym class. You always had a ball in your hand, Mike. Why don't you tell people that? You turd. Anyway, speaking of from a turd, let's go to another one. A turd that's closer to my home. I'm talking about the mayor of San Fran shithole. Needles and shit, California. The shitty city by the bay, San Francisco, Mayor London Breed. Now, apparently, she has siphoned $120 million from the San Francisco law enforcement budget, and it's being redistributed. And she said that $3.75 million of the siphoned $120 million is going to help the black community. Okay. So they're going to help with training and they're going to do some revitalization. Hey, you know what, Mayor? You don't have to do that. Just allow the gentrification to continue and the private sector would do it for you. And she said, it said in the article, I'll put a link in the description box. It says that the SFHRC is involved. The San Francisco Human Rights Commission. This is a human rights issue. These people's human rights are being violated. Is that what you're telling me? And she says she's going to put it into the African American communities like Visitation Valley, the Fillmore, Sunnydale, and Hunters Point. You may have heard of the Fillmore and you may have heard of Hunters Point. Not for good reasons. Those are hood-ass places with violence and gangs. So what is your $3.75 million going to do? Revitalization? What, you going to put some new buildings or repaint some old ones and spruce up the place in the midst of violence, drugs, poverty, filth? Girl, what the hell is wrong with you? Stop throwing money at the problem. Start throwing real solutions like, rebuilding the nuclear family, prioritizing education. Maybe do some of that. And then you won't be needed down the road. If you do that now, then these people can start taking care of themselves. They can revitalize their own damn neighborhoods. Then they won't need you. They won't need your bullshit $3.75 million. And why are you taking $120 million from San Francisco law enforcement? Probably the city that needs it the most. Every dime that San Francisco law enforcement budget can get, it needs it. I was there a couple years ago. Those police cars look like they were taken from the set of Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. No rims, they were dented, scratched. I'm sorry, I'm not used to seeing cop cars all beat up. How did that happen? And this is in Union Square. Google Union Square. Look at the shops they have there. Burberry, Louis Vuitton. Look how much it costs to have a store space there, a retail space, rent. Make sure you're not around anything. You make sure you're not around any sharp edges so when you pass out, you won't hit your head on it. And why not use this money to help San Francisco in general? Why are you targeting a certain group? Oh yeah, victimhood. There's no white businesses, Asian businesses, Latino businesses that could use that, neighborhoods maybe. I think everybody could benefit from some homeless feces removal. I think the entire city would like that. Maybe get rid of some of those damn homeless people. All neighborhoods, all colors would like that, but they're not about unification, they're about division. Tell this group constantly they're downtrodden and it's the fault of some mythical ghost called white people. Let me see. Nope. No boot on my neck. Man, how is there anybody left in San Francisco? The average rent there is $6,000 a month. Yes, $6,000 US a month to live there. San Francisco sucks unless you're up on the hill. If you're up there by that private school that Obama sent his kids to for a while, that place where I drove by and there was this metallic green Bentley out front. Yeah, if you live up there, San Francisco is great. But anywhere south of that, Pier 39, no. That's not the San Francisco that they have up on the hill. But let's end this with some good news, no. Some amazing news, no. Awesome news. So this woman in this place, this is local for me, it's called Hollister. And summertime, it's known as Hottester. It gets hot as shit over there. But it's about 20, 25 minutes from here if there's no traffic. And there's a gated community, and this lady was in her home with her children, and some punk ass broke into her house while she was there. 6 a.m. She heard the sound of somebody rummaging in her closet. Imagine this. You're up in the morning with your kids or getting up before them to prepare for when they do wake up, and you hear somebody rummaging in your closet. Fortunately, this woman armed herself. Yes, I know they only tell us in the mainstream mediocres always tell us that guns are bad and all they do is kill school children and mall shoppers. But more often than not, they help people. They save lives. So this woman armed herself. She warned the kid to get out of there. Yes, kid, this dude's 18 and his name is Ocean Burger. That's the kid's name, Ocean Burger. He was also a resident near where she lived. So she warns this kid to get out of there. She even fires warning shots. And I'm telling my wife about this, and we're thinking, why warning shots? Why warn him to get out? I understand saying, get out of my house, but why fire warning shots? So we're thinking maybe she knew this kid. But she fires some warning shots. He continues to come at her. I'll put a link in the description box. You can read the article. And she shoots him in the leg. Now, unfortunately, she didn't shoot him higher, but she shot him in the leg. And from what I can tell in the article, she hasn't been sued. She hasn't been arrested. This could be a clear-cut case of self-defense, home self-defense. Because we've all heard those bullshit stories where somebody shoots an assailant, a burglar, doesn't kill him, and they turn around and sue them. Wait, what kind of crazy shit is that? Maybe there is, but if there isn't, there should be an organization whose sole purpose is to legally protect people like this. Open and shut. You break into her home, she shoots your ass. How are you able to turn around and sue her? She would be better off killing you so you couldn't lodge a civil suit against her. But shout out, praise, and kudos to this lady. I'm glad that most stories with guns end like this, with the legal gun owner being safe and the bad guy being shot. Everyone who has a gun isn't some nut who's going to go out in public and shoot their fellow citizens. Most of the time, they're for good and to save lives and protect people. That woman had children in the house. Now, I think it was in Florida, some other story. I saw the video. This guy was like kicking this lady's door. I guess there was a restraining order. It's a bullshit ass piece of paper that don't work. He ended up finally kicking the door in. Fortunately, the door held up long enough for, I don't think it was her, I think it was someone else in the house with her, to get their gun. He comes in, he gets shot in the head and killed. Great. But these kind of stories need to be highlighted. And I believe you can say, yeah, it's sexist, Jericho. I don't give a shit. But every law-abiding woman, when they leave the nest, you should get a gun and a manageable sized dog. That's what you should get. And whenever that dog dies, you should get a free one from the government. You want to do some good, government? Help protect us. Start tightening the rules on the criminal. Start handing out stiffer penalties for them and not make it hard for us to get a weapon to defend ourselves. The overwhelming majority of the time you spend with your firearm, it will be in a safe, safely. You won't even have to use it for home defense. But we should have it in case we do. We should not be hamstrung and handcuffed just trying to get a gun to protect ourselves. That's it. You think criminals go down to the local gun shop and fill out paperwork? No, they steal them from people like us. Every woman, as long as you are not a criminal or crazy, should have a gun and a manageable sized dog. That's what my daughter will have when she leaves my house to fend for herself in the world. There are evil, disgusting, demon-like monsters in the world who visit the most disgusting things upon their fellow human beings. Police are reactionary. They get there after the fact. Hopefully they still find you huddled in your closet with your cordless phone, speaking quietly so he doesn't find you. But if you had a gun next to you, if he did find you, along with that officer, send a meat wagon. So big up to that lady in Hollister for shooting that turd. Hopefully that lead taught him a lesson and he won't get out and try that shit again because he is only 18 years old. Now, let me get back in here with my beautiful wife and kids where I do have a little group of weapons to protect them. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone, link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.